Hypothetical viewers, and welcome back to Shining Force Sword of Hajya. We are fighting the final battle against Iom. Um, did not go so well. Last time we tried this, got just too many. Prince Nick's a little slow, took him a while to actually get his turn again, and we got attacked by multiple bits of Iom, which rapidly overwhelmed us. So this time I'm going to try taking out the two ads first, and maybe the Eagle Bishop as well. And hopefully that will give us a clear shot towards Iom itself. And we can kind of wait for the Evil Bishop to approach a little, I guess, because, you know, by the time we're finished killing the two little ads, he'll be here. He's gonna walk around the side. So I think it'll take a while for us to kill these little whatever the hell they are. They have, like, I think it's close to 150 HP. That's what it seemed like last time. A little more than 150, actually. I actually underestimated how incredibly beefy these guys are. There we go. Oh, actually, no, it's like just over 150. It's maybe 160, a little and so or so. I mean, I wasn't keeping exact count there, so I'm just kind of guesstimating a little, but it seemed like it's about that, which is a lot. They're basically they're like the equivalent of a boss in and of themselves, and then we have to fight the actual boss. So there's plenty for us to fight here. I guess you can just sit there for now. Natasha, you know what, sure, let's have you chip away at it a little. You may as well do something. You're standing here, so... Genuinely, I will say again, I'm 100% aware that... let's use the Heat Axe, since we can't reach that thing anyway. Let's actually use an item for the first time. I think not only in this playthrough, but in all of the time that I've played Shining Force stuff. Oh, did it get damaged? Because they can get damaged if you use them. But I've never used any... Oh yeah, it cracked. Wow, it broke after one use? Jeez. That was a bit of a downer, because like I was like, oh, I've never actually used items, you know, weapons in their use form ever to get spells. This will be cool. And then just instantly broke. It's like, wow, lame. I guess that's why I never did it. Seemed a bit worthless. I think it's a random chance that that can happen, but geez, not worth. We're gonna take a lot of damage, unfortunately, because this thing can do like 30 damage to a plus-shaped area, which is pretty absurd, you know? Like, diggity dang. You're gonna have him hang back a bit, just so he doesn't die before we can get there. It's just like so much damage. And they're not even that slow. They get their turns decently often, and they have so much HP, you know, you have to stand adjacent to them and in range of them in order to really do anything. Hoping our healers will get their turns at some point. So hoping Ben would get a second attack or something. But, you know, I feel like the thing is here, a hyper offense strategy against these, like most of the major bosses we've seen, is generally the best, because if you try to be cautious and keep pulling your guys back and etc., the amount of damage, incoming damage, just can overwhelm you so quickly. You have to focus fire them down fast, or you're just gonna die, basically. That's pretty much how I feel about it. You know, it's just like trying to be super cautious and stuff. Just I feel like you'll get attrition will wear you out before it wears the enemy down. Oh, you're really close. Okay, I'm gonna have... I hope she's not in range of main boss Iom. I am not sure how big the range of that thing is, but we gotta take this thing out. Okay. Got rid of one of them. I'm actually gonna have Luke heal main character, because if he dies, we all die. So even if we actually are in range of the main part of Iom, he will now be able to survive it, which is obviously vital. So gotta prioritize. Man, this thing is tanky. definitely has pretty good defenses. We're close though. I think we're not in range there. Okay. I'm trying to figure out what's the best placement for my Aura 2. This will catch most of us, yeah, and it actually just barely leaves Ben out, but that's fine because we healed him separately. I do wish we had Aura 3 because this only heals 15 and we're taking like 10 more damage than that, so this is not enough to actually overcome the attrition we're experiencing. It's enough to like mitigate it a little, but we will continue losing health over time. Poor Claude didn't get healed either. I'm actually going to move him up here just to get him a little further away from the guy with Freeze 2, which could kill him in his weakened state. Good job, Claude. Okay. And, oof. They'll make it. We just healed them. These Ion dolls keep regenning, but we also can't ignore them, so some people will be down here kind of fighting them, basically. I want to not move Nick within range of Ion's attack until we are in a position for him to like, I don't want him to be sitting there waiting for his next turn basically, so I think on his next turn he'll be close enough to move in without currently aggroing Ion's attack. Because he is a slow bee. The Ion doll is sort of in the way here. They also just have piles of HP. This is a little annoying, honestly. Have her help out, I guess. She's not quite close enough to attack the evil bishop. Yeah, they've also looks like they've got like 160 HP, which feels quite absurd. I think she might be able to get both. Yeah, very nice. It's something. I'm concerned we won't be able to hit the evil bishop again before he gets his turn, because the Ion doll and this little like chunk of rubble kind of bottlenecked us. Oh, but Claude can help out. Arg, so close to killing it. Ah, that's annoying. I guess I'll just have him heal Dawn because he's not close enough to help Claude, and he also can't get through to attack because we're in bottleneck. Maps where bottlenecks can be produced are some of the most irritating because it's just like, it basically requires you to just be patient, which, as we've seen, is not my strong suit. She's not going to do enough damage for it to really feel worthwhile. I can't really do anything. Well, I guess he can attack with the Power Sphere. Think how long we got the Power Sphere when Randolph joined us, and there was never an upgrade to it. The Valkyrie is a special item that you find, but that's it. That's so odd. Who is injured? What are our current injuries? No. I guess I can just do this with I guess it'd be the C button? Lol. Who is hurt? I think we've got some chip on everyone, but not so much that we have to heal right now. But I'm gonna do this just because we do have chip, and I do want Sarah to keep getting X in the hope of maybe getting a better Aura next level. I don't know how far away it is. It may be fairly far away, but if there's Aura 4, it's got to be somewhere in these upcoming levels, right? I know those little Ion things are going to recover at some point, but notice how long it has taken Prince Nick to get his turn. He is incredibly slow compared to the rest of the party. So, like, this is the end of Claude, sadly. Yeah, he was never in a spot where I could heal him, and I really wanted him to kind of move in. And the Evil Bishop, this just didn't go that well. I think I should have let the Evil Bishop come a little closer so we get past that, like, awkward hole in the floor. Okay, well, Prince Nick, make this attack. After this, he doesn't have to live. He doesn't need to deal the finishing blow or anything. As you can see, he doesn't really do all that much damage. He's fairly pathetic. I don't know that I want to move Ben in to attack Ion, just because if he dies, we die. So he might need to stay on doll duty. I'm conflicted though because he's also one of our best damage dealers. a healing rain. That's nice. Okay. Move Dawn back up. You know, I'm honestly just gonna have her jump in because she's almost out of MP, and after that, you know, if she dies, she dies. She wasn't gonna be able to do more damage anyway, so she might as well do what she can. Who else is injured? The only one I really need to heal was Claude, and I did not quite get to him in time, unfortunately. He's also a really good damage dealer, but, you know, I wanted to try and rush and as fast as we could to get the bishop down, but then we couldn't get anyone else in position, unfortunately. Yeah, I feel like there's not that much of a strategy for Iom other than blast him down. He unfortunately, he has like more than 200 HP because he's up to the blue bar, right? And each full bar is 100. Well, it's 99. But yeah. So he has a fairly absurd amount of HP. Yeah. See that Iom could actually one-shot May, and she's pretty. She was like what, level 12? She's pretty high in level. So the amount of power he has is pretty insane. Let's use the Heat Axe again. He can't quite get in melee range, so why the fuck not? Something. I guess you could still use it, even if it's... I guess it's like, theoretically, we could still repair it at this point. Eventually, we won't be able to. And again, we're just... Might as well use her MP as fast as we can, because... that's all we can do. Basically, on Prince Nick's next turn, I want to move him out of there because he can't do very much damage. Our melee fighters can do more. But unfortunately, he is also incredibly slow, as we've already seen. So that's really going to take a while, which is really unfortunate. That's why I do think it's genuinely pretty annoying that we are required to use him to deal that first blow, because him being slow means that it takes us a while to do that. Like, we have to wait for his turn, which stalls us, and then we have to wait, fucking finally, for his turn again. I think we can use the sword, yeah. So maybe I'll, like... Yeah, I can just keep him here and use the sword, I guess. Let's see what it does. I don't think the Sword of Hajya can actually break. Freeze, so that's not very good. Maybe I'll have him cast Bolt a couple times, but it's something. You know, he can stay there and be a bit useful. At least these things only have freeze too, which it's obviously it does sap our HP, but it could be a lot worse. I feel like if I wasn't required to use Prince Nick and we could just kind of attack at will, this battle would annoy me less. It's like we could have Jaha in there, you know, it just... Or if Prince Nick was just better, it feels like if you're gonna give me a special character who only joins for the final battle, make them good, you know? Make them at least as good as my rest of my party, you know? Like, why make them annoying? Especially if it's the main character of the previous game. It's like, what are you doing? He's supposed to be likable. I'm supposed to be happy that he came back to the party. So we are now on the green health bar. So right now, yeah, he actually had like 300 HP because the blue health bar is its own. This is awkward because Dawn can't quite get to this spot, which is our wanter. I'm gonna have her just stay here for now because there's other characters I want to move into the melee slot. I'm gonna have him attack the Ion Bell just to hopefully get a little closer to dying. Get rid of it. He can attack from range, so I think I'll have Jaha have the melee spot. It's always awkward with these final boss battles too, that there often are not multiple slots for melee characters, and often a lot of your characters are melee. So it's like, what do? And this will be, she's kind of running out of spells at this point, but we're getting there. So we got rid of the blue health bar. Hard to say, he had at least 300 HP. We're currently getting through the green health bar. Once we get to yellow, he will have 99 more HP. Jaha's not really doing a lot. Ooh, this will kill Natasha, I think. Yeah, but she basically used up her spells, so... Hopefully Sarah will live this. it's not really possible for her to be using Aura and not be in range. Oh, just barely. That was rough. Let's have him use Bolt. He can only use this once, but it'll do a little more than the sword. You're not very useful, Nick. Okay. Have her use Aura. Yeah. That's the last of Aura, too, so... Oh, I was just saying, like, where the hell is Slade? I know we rezzed everyone. I think Nick kicked him out. I think that's the party slot that got kicked out. Got to level 11. It did not give us more Aura, sadly. I was hoping for... Well, we didn't have enough MP left anyway. Man, that's a cool attack, I will say. Like, glowy hands attack. Well, I guess at this point it doesn't matter. Sarah can use heal 1 and nothing else right now. We may not win this one. We're definitely like fading fast. We've only, I think this maybe will just barely get us to the yellow health bar. It just got us, so we still have a long way to go, and we are just, our strength is weakening. This is battle because the ads keep respawning. I will say, I'm gonna keep him back until such a time as Jaha is dead, because he's a melee fighter and there's no melee space right now, so there's no point in just injuring him for no reason, considering that we really need him alive. He is wielding the correct weapon, right? Yes, the Axe of Atlas. He's just not as high level as the others, I guess. He's a bit weaker. Okay, we can Dawn in there. She deals a lot at least. We're close, but we have to see, you know, will we make it? Chester, I think, does a little more damage than Graham, so we can heal her up. Him, sorry. Yeah, and then maybe a couple of them will survive the next attack. This is going to be close. If we win, it's going to be real close. It's going to be tight. Maybe it would have been faster not to have Jaha attacking and have Ben in there. I don't know. I think this will be the end of Jaha. Yeah, that's it. So we gotta get Ben to the other slot. Now Eric, just barely alive. Barely. Well, Luke can get in there for melee too. That's it for Graham, unfortunately. Chester just survives thanks to being healed. Sarah's out, but she can really do a lot else anyway. She had one heal, 1 month basically. But at least Dawn and Nick are now in positions where they... I'm not gonna even go in melee because there's other characters who can do that instead. They're actually not getting attacked while he's attacking in front instead, so that's helpful. In fact, next time Dawn gets her turn, she could take him out by herself. We only need 1 more attack, pretty much. We're just about there. Like, half the party is dead. Yeah, see, they regen. I think Luke can finish this off. He's pretty strong. Go for it, Luke. Yes! Oh, sweet victory. That was close, just as predicted. Like, half the party is dead, but we managed to wear him down. Just focus firing to the last. Ah, oh, that was pretty epic. Woof. And now, time to watch the ending, and that will be Shining Force Sword of Hajya. The power of Iom is fading. My strength is leaving me. It's cold. Cold. Am I dying? You're cold on top of a pool of lava. Okay. Huh? Who's calling? Who's calling me? So he's getting a spam call in the middle of this dramatic scene. That's what it immediately makes me think, because that's like, that's real life right now. It's like, who the fuck is calling me from random number on my phone? Is that you, Iom? You're taking me to Hades? I'm gonna assume that in the original Japanese he was being taken to hell, but they translated that as Hades for the English version to get around the censorship. But serving Iom seems to be a bit of a fool's errand. No, I won't go. No. Also, didn't he die? Like, I thought he sacrificed himself to summon Iom, but now he's here. Like, did he turn himself into that statue? Is that what that was? But now that he's been defeated, Iom is dragging him to hell. So the lesson here is don't serve Iom. Like, he said in the opening cutscene, he was like, oh, you're the god of evil. Don't serve the god of evil. All of Cyprus's fallen comrades have come back to life. Hooray! So we can all be in the ending cutscene together. So fun. I love that because it makes it look much cooler. It's our whole army. I suppose Warder is dead. Did you not hear him getting dragged off to hell, dude? He's like more than dead. Iom seems to have gone back to Hades. I guess Iom is like is he like the king of hell? Is that what this is? Although, given that how in Shining Force 2 they changed it to all being about devils, I guess that could kind of fit. Iom is like a king of devils or something. Who knows though? But yeah, this is like okay. Like maybe if like the tagline of your god is like you're the lord of evil, serving him might have some bad consequences for you. That's the lesson. But Hindle will never return. Yeah, he got chucked in a pool of lava, dude. He's not coming back. I don't think we're even gonna recover a body. Deanna's crying, I think, here. Understandably sad about his bro's death. Just when they were reunited, they were torn apart again. He's looking around for him. You know, when you're grieving, you're not thinking straight. He does not realize you can't find the body that was thrown in lava. Ben, stop! Searching for him is useless. He literally got thrown in lava. Hindle is dead. Like, you saw it happen right in front of you. It was probably very traumatic, and then you had to fight, like, a demon statue. It's been a rough day. What in the world? As usual, defeating the boss is causing the lair to collapse. That was a load-bearing boss. The shrine is collapsing. Without Iom's power, there's nothing to hold it together. Is that the explanation for why we can have this open pool of lava, but it's like we can survive on this platform? It was magic. That actually works for me. All these ridiculous RPG dungeons, they're made of magic. Everyone out, now! No, my brother! Ben, you must leave this place. Prince Nick, we need to leave, hurry! I can't leave Ben, he won't move. Nick actually doesn't even know us. He's just like good guy Nick, looking out for this person he barely knows. Oh, Ben, here, you poor lad. Ben, you can't stay here with Hindle, you'll die. What do you mean you don't care, you coward? What about your friends? Don't you think they'll mourn your loss? And me, what will I do? Don't you understand, Ben? It's not just Natasha, everyone cares for you. Let's go, Ben. You must live for your brother Hindle. Yes, you're right, let's go. Aww. We might have left it a little too late. Dungeon is collapsing very rapidly. The rest of the party was patiently waiting for us. You can tell what good friends we are. They didn't book it and leave us behind. They waited. Also, I gotta say, I feel like this scene would be stronger if Natasha had more dialogue through other parts of the game, even just like an occasional line. That would definitely help build that relationship a little more. But still, this is a very nice ending where, like, she's like the compassionate one. Everyone at their posts? That's good. Very good. You know, like, we can see in the ending scene that, like, obviously she's like a really caring person and very attached to Ben, you know, and like is comforting him. But we could have developed that a teeny bit more, just a little. I mean, she's the party leader for like 3 chapters. We could have put a little dialogue. But yeah, Nick basically met Ben for the first time in that battle. But he's like, we can't leave without you. That Nick is a heroic person. Mayfair, what will become of Ben? At Mayfair, it's not just Jaha, but everyone is concerned. Will Ben be leaving? Natasha! What? Prince Nick and Gaian are trying to convince Ben to stay, but it's a difficult decision for Ben to make. I'm actually not sure what's so difficult about it, because it would seem he has literally nowhere else to go. Maybe he just like, you know, he's like, I gotta go out there and find myself, like, you know, he's been through a lot of trauma. Maybe it's like, the memories are too much being around this place. What decision? I thought we were his friends. We went on this entire adventure together.
remember, Ben has been through a tough ordeal.
Aw, this music in the background, love it.
He knows he's welcome to stay here in Cyprus.
It's Guyan. Mayfair.
Guyan, any news?
Aw, head shake. Guyan sadly shakes his head.
That's bad, huh?
These two are old buddies, you can tell. The prince and Ben will be out shortly. They went on a whole adventure together, too. Here he is.
You still want to leave? Are you sure you won't change your mind?
Ben nods his head slightly. I'll say no more. It'll be futile. I can't change your mind. People of Cyprus, Ben will be leaving us. Let us wish him luck. It'll be lonely around here without you, Ben. Think of me and all your friends in Cyprus once in a while. We didn't actually spend that much time with Guyan. I guess he was around for a couple battles.
We'll never forget you.
Where's Luke? He should be here too. He's one of the starting characters.
Ben, wait. Natasha, do you have something to say to Ben? When he leaves, you may never see him again.
Geez, he's not even gonna come back and visit. Man.
Well,
Aw, the musical direction in this game is great. They exciting battle map music starting up is like the adventure begins. Natasha, follow your heart. People tripping and falling on their face. This is also a great callback to the start of the game. It's not fair, leaving me like this. Don't you care about me? Ben, I'm going with you. I don't care what you say. He didn't say anything. Ben slowly nods his head in approval. He's like, cool. This is getting too mushy for me. Ben, don't forget we're your friends too. Aw, and off they go on their next adventure. Prince Nick, will Ben be alright? He'll be fine, Guyan. He'll live as a hero. That's his character class now. And one day, he'll return to Cyprus. And he has a wizard to help him out, so it'll be good. They both have egress, and this is our final pick that you get when you beat the game.
Battle, the Shining Force defeated the evil Eom Empire. True peace once again was restored to Cyprus. And they left Cyprus for a journey into the new frontier.
I don't know what it's the frontier of. None of that was mentioned before, but it's fully voiced ending. Aw, so Natasha and Ben headed off into the sunset on their next adventure. Very sweet. The Another Story of Shining Force Part 2 staff. The Another Story. And now we get the credits over, various sprite work of the game, which is a very stylish credit sequence. So that, this is our long adventure we've gone on, and we finally wrapped it up. This game definitely, it has more of like a story feel than the first game. I guess they were sort of made as a pair, because we have a whole ending cutscene and the hero and Natasha, kind of, hooking up and going off into the sunset for their new adventures, roaming, unknown frontiers or whatever. I do think, obviously this is a super old game. It was made for the Game Gear, right? So it doesn't have tons and tons of dialogue. I do think we could have used a teeny bit more dialogue from Natasha just to help her be a little more of a major character. But we did get a couple battles where she's like, when Ben is like, oh, he's freaking out because he's realized, it seems like he's realized Hindle is really his brother. Maybe he already knew. It's not really clear whether he, at what point he realized that, but he's, concerned about it. And she's like, Ben, are you okay? At the beginning of the battles when he's, getting all quiet. So I think they did at least do a good job of building up to, this doesn't come completely out of nowhere. We have seen them interact a little bit. And since it's such an old game, I feel like, yeah, there could be more of that, but it's hella old and there's not very much dialogue at all. It's very bare bones for the most part. But yeah, I think it's for something that is really quite short, it was a handheld game. It's a guiding game. It doesn't have a ton of chapters really compared to the Shining Force 1 and Shining Force 2. They actually managed to pack a nice dramatic story into it of Prince Nick is kidnapped by the evil Eom, and you know, we're setting out to rescue him, but the sword is stolen, and like it turns out that our brother was like, you know, the traitor, and the reason he betrayed him was like you and him were raised by the king of Ione, but then, you know, when you disappeared, like Hindel's like angry that he just abandoned you and turns on him and rescuing Prince Nick. So it managed to pack like a reasonable amount of kind of drama and twists into what is really a fairly brief game, which I think is really nice. It like the first Gaiden game is like it doesn't have a ton of story to it. It's like, you know, it's kind of very simple and straightforward. Um, Whereas this game I feel like has like a little bit more in-depth story in spite of being just as short. And I do think the ending is really cute where it's like all your friends there to kind of see you off, and you know, Natasha like finally admitting that yes, she does want to go with main character. And kind of it's, you know, it's kind of, I feel like all the Shining Force games mostly, except I guess Shining Force 2, which has an ending that I thought was very stupid. The hell is this green sword? We never got that. Were we supposed to get that? I, maybe we were meant to have that. I don't remember. But you know, the first Shining Force game, Shining Force 1, also had kind of a poignant ending of like the hero not quite making it at home. And in this one, you know, I guess it's more like main character like Deanna is, you know, after kind of the trauma of losing his brother and all this shit that happened, he's like, I gotta go out, I gotta find myself, you know, I can't stay here. To be concluded. I guess it's a play on to be continued, but it's also like that's not a phrase. Nobody says to be concluded. It's already been concluded. That's it. That was Sonic software planning. Is there more to this? I'm pressing. Oh, I pressed enter. And oh, that's right. There is one more thing. Or no, actually, we didn't get the thing. Even though,
Sonic. Software
huh?
planning.
That's weird. Um, I mean, it wasn't doing anything. I pressed the button, but huh. So basically, well, maybe the CD version doesn't have this, or maybe there was something I needed to do to get it that I didn't. But remember way back at the end of the first chapter when we got the the show ticket or whatever it is, the circus ticket from the well? It's supposed to give you a special sequence at the end where it's just like it's basically just the character sprites doing a little dance. It's very basic, but it's fun, and it didn't appear to happen for some reason. Even though we did get the tickets, that happened. We actually succeeded in that. So I don't know why that didn't happen. I'm sad that I can't show that to you, but I cannot apparently. I did try. I got the tickets, but I don't. Maybe it's not in, but the tickets are still there. Maybe I had to wait longer on that screen. It seemed like it had come to the end and there was nothing else to do. I tried pressing A and then I pressed enter and it just started over. So I don't know. Maybe I skipped it by accident. Not sure. But whatever. It's not. It's honestly not that important. And also, who's ever gonna watch this? But yeah, that was the end of Shining Force Sword of Hajya, a beloved game of my childhood, which I feel like is still fun play with, you know, a solid enough story. I mean, I'm not saying it's like fucking Shakespeare or something, but definitely for its time. And even now, it's like, this is a fun story with some nice twists, you know, and some decent drama. And like Warder definitely, I think, makes a good villain. He's like a huge asshole, so it's very satisfying to kill him. he's like over the top an asshole the whole game. To his subordinates, to you, to everybody. So at the end, you're like, at last. But yeah, this was very fun. I finally finished both of the Gaiden games. Yeah, Shining Force Final Conflict, I guess, will be next. Which is sort of the other one connected to the story of Shining Force 1. Shining Force 1, Final Conflict, and the two Gaiden games are all kind of part of, you know, the same little story world. And then Shining Force 2 is like tangentially related to it, but not really as much. So that'll kind of wrap up the saga of these characters in Guardiana. Oh, what a satisfying adventure. Just recruiting so many friends and traveling so far and rescuing Prince Nick and restoring. I do really like how the ending cutscene, the very end, basically references the very first chapter with us on guard duty and like someone tripping and falling, and like it does a lot of nice little callbacks to the beginning. You know, and obviously the music like is also kind of like the same from the beginning of the game. So I actually really like that because it kind of gives you that feeling of like peace is restored and all is well in Cyprus as our hero sets out, you know, towards whatever the next adventure will be with his wizard girlfriend. Maybe by the time they visit Cyprus again, she'll finally have Blaze 4. And they both have egress, so you know that they'll be pretty safe. They can flee from battle whenever they need to. They're actually pretty powerful between the two of them. But yeah, that was a good game, and I gotta say the Sega CD version has really stylish graphics. I really liked all the little sprites, all the battle animations and stuff. The battle backgrounds all looked really gorgeous. Enjoyed it a lot. Final Conflict only has a Game Gear version, so you'll be able to enjoy, you know, any hypothetical viewers will be able to enjoy the really old graphics and remember what games looked like when we were kids. But yeah, thank you for going on this journey with us, any hypothetical viewers who may someday do so. You know, if you ever exist, thanks for taking this, you know, going on this adventure. Hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did, and look forward to more Shining Force in Final Conflict and maybe Shining Force 3 in the future. This has been Shining Force, the Sword of Hajya.